Hello everyone, this is the introduction to the Leading Lines photo project. Let's get started. Today's objective: you will be able to explain the compositional technique leading lines, the term focal point, and understand the corresponding photo assignment. First of all, what is a focal point? The area of a composition to which the viewer's eye is naturally drawn. Photographers often use leading lines to draw attention to a focal point. The main objective of a lot of artwork is to get the viewer to focus on what you want them to. Let's take a look at this photo. What stands out to you? What stands out to me is the person silhouetted in the background getting ready to board the train. What makes that person stand out, in large part, is the leading lines. The sides of the subway car converge on that point, also the lines of the sidewalk. Lines may be formed by many things, such as architecture or nature. In this photo, the rows of trees create the lines that lead to a focal point, the Eiffel Tower. Photographers may find lines that already exist, or they may create their own lines with objects, as we can see in this photo. The line of short grass versus long grass is emphasized by the line of white shoes. The person, also wearing white, continues the line off the edge of the photo. Using the elements to make leading lines. Here's a few examples. Color. A dominant or contrasting color can create lines that lead the viewer's eye. Notice how the magenta line draws your eye from the main focal point, the woman, to a secondary focal point, the tree. Value. Light and dark values create lines that lead the viewer's eye. How do you see that happening in this photo? From my perspective, I see dark areas on the right and left side of the river. The river itself is a really bright value. My eye follows that nice curve through the photo, leading my eye back to the mountains. Shape. The repetition of the windmill shapes along the top of the hills leads our eyes across the photo. Space. Receding lines, also known as perspective lines, can create a sense of space in a photo. One-point perspective is when receding lines converge at a vanishing point. In this photo, the edges of the table create the receding lines. The lines lead to the mother, which help emphasize her as a focal point. I think this is a really sweet photo that tells a really nice story of a little girl that is watching her mother and imitating her. Be choosy. Look for something special. The photo on the left is not really that special. It does have leading lines, but there's no focal point. It's just a random road. It has kind of ugly telephone pole with wires. It doesn't even have that nice of colors. Compare it to the photo on the right. So we also have a nice road that's a leading line. We have fence posts that are creating a nice pattern. We have a beautiful tree. We have fields that have flowers and beautiful sunset in the sky. So when you're out looking for your photos, take the time to look lots of different places and maybe don't just be satisfied with the first photo that you take. A few suggestions for finding or making leading lines. You can find leading lines in landscape, as you can see in these two photos. You can find leading lines in architecture, as seen in these examples. You can set up your own still life. In the photo on the left, the mascara wands have been lined up, and then a bright light is creating a cast shadow, making a fantastic receding lines. And the photo on the right, I think, is just kind of random and funny. So we have the lines of the fork and the wood leading to the focal point of a pickle. Here is your assignment. Take 10 to 20 photos. Look around your environment for interesting subjects. Try to find good lighting. Turn them into Google Classroom. And as usual, 10 photos is a B, 15 is an A-, and 20 or more is an A. Evaluate your photos carefully. Choose the one with the strongest composition that clearly meets the project criteria. Edit your best photo. Check the levels, exposure, and saturation, and adjust if needed. Consider making creative edits such as black and white, toning, etc. And finally, turn in your best photo to Google Classroom. Have fun taking your photos, everyone!